With any luck, the audio won't be popping like it was before. I'm unsure if it's popping or doing the interference thing that it was the other day or yesterday, so please let me know if it is. Cormac is here. It is making a noise. Darn it, again. It is making a noise. Darn it. I don't understand why it does that, so give me a minute here. Give me 1 minute here. I had it going working fine, and then I don't know what happened. It's interference with the XLR cable, I know that. Alright, is that any better? Hopefully. Alright, I just have to set up that XLR cable better. Let's see. Again. Let's see. Still, but it doesn't seem too bad. Alright, well, we're gonna continue. I have no idea what's causing it. I've tried to solve it, and I don't seem to be successful in solving it, so it's gonna have to be okay for right now. I don't have the time or patience right now to mess with that, so it's going to have to be okay for right now, and if it's not, then oh well. I'll fix it at a later time. Okay, so this is an A1398 that randomly crashes. So let's see if we can get this to randomly crash on us. We already know what it's going to be, but let's see if we can duplicate this. So I'm going to open the lid. It just has no video, it seems like. And let me see something here. Filters. What's a noise gate? Okay. That may have solved it. So how does that sound? I think this might have solved it. Fixed. Awesome. So just a setting. Be live. Alright, that seems to be okay. So this A1398 does not have video. Let me hit start record. So I have to try and be somewhat awake now. Alright, so here we have a 2012 A1398 with no video. We can see the fans are both spinning, but there is nothing on the screen. If we shut it down, let's see, so we're going to shut it down. We're going to hold the power button down. Fan stopped. Let's turn it on again. It does chime, and now it works. But if we tap the board, like right here, Sometimes these will act up when they get hot, or they'll just act up randomly. It may not even do it until it gets hot. It's usually a fairly intermittent problem. Let's wait for this to boot. Another thing they can do is hang on boot. They can also show no video. They could kernel panic. They could randomly crash. Graphics artifacts sometimes, but rarely. This one's not really doing it too much if we tap the board. However, we still know we have intermittent video issues. That's the complaint it came in from. So the next step here is going to be a visual inspection of the board, especially of the U8900 area. Just when I speak, how bad is it? Be honest, how bad is it? Is it unlistenable? Alright, I need T5. Take this motherboard out. No, it's not overheating, I know that. Okay, Cormac, I trust Cormac. Okay, good. Yeah, these 1398s are going to randomly crash, and it's U8900. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. It really depends. Newer Intel CPUs, you're not really going to have overheating on new Intel CPUs. They're just going to throttle and it'll get slow. They very rarely shut off. Sound is odd. Sometimes I hear someone talk. Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm not sure what the popping is though. I fixed that last night by coiling the XLR cable, and now it seems to be back, so I don't know if it's interference from next door. I don't know what it is. Evening from the UK, says CY Map. Evening to you too. It's morning here. Well, sort of morning. I feel like sneezing from the dust in this computer. That's not good. Sneezing is no fun. I don't like to sneeze. I may get a different audio interface. I may bring that one back and let them know it's popping and stuff, and have them change it or whatever. I think it's an issue with the audio interface, honestly. Because even if I unplug the XLR cable from the receiver, it still pops. So it's an audio interface issue. Happens. Hopefully a new one will solve it. I think I will have to go to FedEx, which is right by the place where I got it today, so depends if I get the ground packages out before the cutoff time at the other place, because there's 2 different buildings for ground and express here. And I'm reassembling this thing as slow as a turtle. Can you remove auto gain? Auto gain, I don't know. Like I said, deal with it for right now. It's not unlistenable. You could ignore it, and I will fix it. Like I said, it's probably the darn audio interface is bad. There's no auto gain on the mic, I don't think. Yeah, for right now, if it's that unbearable, just no, don't watch, and I will fix it when I can. Alright, so we can see the joints are cracked. Okay, so this is the U8900 area of the board. This controls GPU V-core, so this is the switching regulator for the GPU MOSFETs. And if we look closely right here, you can see that these joints are actually cracked. So this is kind of hard to see at this angle, so I'm going to tilt the board and adjust my focus a little bit. You can see these joints are actually cracked. If we look closely, you can see there's a crack in those. So see the little distortion on the solder joint? That is a crack. That's how lead-free solder cracks. You could see it on a few of them. And this side, so this side right here, let's find it. Where's the chip? So this side right here looks fine, well, to an extent, but this side looks better. You can kind of get an idea of what it's supposed to look like. And the other side doesn't. So luckily this is an easy fix. A lot of people are going to reflow the GPU. And reflowing the GPU is never a good idea on a machine that is not getting the right amount of V-core to the chip. Now this chip is the issue on 90%, 99% of A1398s that exhibit the symptoms of random crashing in this. So don't go reflowing your GPU. So we're going to fix this by applying some flux. This is Amtech VS213, which can wet lead-free. We're going to pretty much touch up the lead-free joints on the chip, so this is a good flux to use. Put a good amount around the chip. Like that. I'm going to grab my iron. And we are going to add some solder around the chip and touch up all the pins on that. So I'm going to do this like this. We're just going to grab our iron. This is a J-tip. I like the J-tip for soldering QFN because it kind of allows you to reach every pin and actually feel what you're doing. So add some solder in here, just like this. And this will touch up the broken joints. The leaded solder that we're adding is also less prone to failure down the line and less prone to cracking like the lead-free that is on there from the factory is. It's a lot less brittle. Just like that. And now we're going to clean this up. So we're just going to grab a dry Q-tip, wipe up as much of the flux as we can with a dry Q-tip. And we're not going to ultrasonic this board because there's really no need to when it's just this. So I'm going to get rid of as much of the flux I can with the dry Q-tip to absorb it. And then we will go in with alcohol and a Q-tip and clean up the rest. This is a no clean flux anyway, but it's just better to clean it. It's a little bit more because there's a little tiny bit more flux around the chip. We want to clean that up. And see how much better this looks now? See those nice joints? Much better than the original soldering. Let's look at the side that was messed up prior. Much better. See that? Those are nice looking solder joints. That's how they should look. Not like that cracked and ruined stuff that was on there. Don't see any bridges, and that looks pretty good. I'm going to dust the fan out a little bit and reapply the thermal paste. So here's the fan dusting. Much cleaner. Take the heatsink off now and reapply the thermal paste. You can do that on Mac, why couldn't you? Not gonna hurt anything. Why would it hurt anything? Yeah, if you do it if you spin it at that speed all day, it's going to kill the bearings in the fan, but you're not afraid of spikes in the fan? No, the spikes, you're not going to get over 5 volts from that spike. You'll maybe get half of a volt, but yeah, it's not going to kill anything. And that's not even going to be enough amperage to power anything. It won't even have close to enough amperage to power the rail to the point where it's too high of a voltage. So yeah, you have no worries on that whatsoever. You could spin a fan when it's plugged in too. It's not going to do anything. Like I said, you're going to get maybe a half of a volt from it, probably less. Of course, my luck is it's going to be dead when I try and turn it back on. Yeah, that's not even a worry of mine of killing a board from the fan spinning. The chances of that fan generating more than 5 volts, it's nothing. You're not even going to be close to that. And even if you did, let's say you exceeded like 7 volts on 5VS5, that's well within tolerance. You're going to be fine. That's more of a problem if you get like to 10 volts or higher than that. But a short burst isn't going to do anything. How should you deal with ripped pads? Excellent, ripped a pad off a board last week. Just run a wire to it. Happens all the time. So, see how there's exposed capacitors here? This is supposed to cover them, but that kind of peeled away. Whenever I get something like this, I always like to cover that with a piece of Captain tape. It's probably fine without it, but why take a chance? You know, a little tiny piece of Captain tape is the way to go. And where are my wire cutters? Wire cutters always disappear. That's sad. Wire cutters always disappear. They're not there. Here we go again. Me losing stuff. Every single time. I guess I'm gonna use my tweezers to cut it. So I don't know where my wire cutters are. I have a magnetic bar too, but they're not on the magnetic bar. I need to find them because I need them. Where are they? Could have sworn I had them this morning. It's like the contents of 90% of my streams is looking for stuff that I just had in my hand and now it disappears. And every single time it's always, well, almost always it's right in front of your face. That's how losing something goes. It's always right in front of your face when you lose it. Oh well, those are gone. Unless I have another pair. Yeah, here's another pair, so this will work. But I wanted my nice pair. Oh well. So back to what I was getting at. I always like to put a little piece of Captain tape whenever there's a little bit of the chip exposed like that. Just to protect against possible shorts from the heatsink. It's not really required, but it gives me the peace of mind, so I do it. If it'll stick. And that doesn't appear to be sticking. Yeah, you don't want to do this with a magnifying glass. We're going to put a little piece there. Chris, we're rehotting GPU. That's what we do here. We rehot GPU. So, Chris, this A1398 had random crashing, so I fixed this by heating the GPU to 500 Celsius. So, yeah, so this is how I fix A1398s that are randomly crashing. I just heat the GPU, and they work after almost every time. So, yeah, just rehot the GPU, Chris. That's all we do here. If it doesn't power on, it's usually the CPU with the balls being cracked, so just rehot. Just rehot. Not powering on, no backlight, all this is related to the CPU. %100 fix, lifetime warranty, GPU rehot, $29.95. Flat rate at B&C Connection LLC in Bowling Green, Kentucky. You know there's going to be some moron that's going to try that and then send me an email and say, hey, I rehotted CPU and now it doesn't turn on anymore. Just like that, some people actually took the free advice thing seriously that Lewis was going on about a while ago. Some people actually took that seriously and thought I actually provided free help. Are you kidding me? How can be that inept? I mean, it's almost as bad as me. Clean the heatsink off. Zero effect is here. I'm not 100% convinced yet that Zero Effect is not a troll. I think Zero Effect is actually a troll, but it's too hard to tell right now. I'm a local shop where the owner would usually just replace the board instead of swapping individual components. I'm trying to push in a component. Yes, do that. Component level repair is where it's at, honestly. Surprised I'm not shaking today. That's pretty rare for me. Especially since I'm tired. I gotta move this for a sec. Chris, there was someone the other day that sent something here that the whole board was covered in like this metal thermal paste. It was probably liquid metal. The whole board, it was coated in it. Like it was just like, come on, really? You're gonna coat the board with thermal paste? Alright, give me 1 second here. I put this last screw in. I will be right back. Oh shoot, I'm missing a screw. Oh, here it is. Okay, I will be right back. Okay, I am back. I just went to go check the mail real quick. Okay. So what was I doing? I forgot. Oh yeah, putting this back in the enclosure. Sarah's here. Easiest way to fix a MacBook is just put a Windows sticker over the Apple logo. That's a good idea. Wait, there's one more thing I have to do. We have to clean this fan. Clean fan. Fan spin. Now it's time to see if this randomly crashing stopped. So I'm going to put this back in the enclosure. If I could find where I put the enclosure. Right here. Did you rehot enough? I think I did rehot enough, Chris. But time will tell. Time will tell if the board works after I rehotted the CPU and GPU both at the same time. Rehotting CPU and GPU is a 100% solution for any board that does not turn on, does not produce image, does not produce backlight. Or actually, preventative maintenance, just rehot CPU. Prevent issues in the first place. Get your caffeine fix? Yes, I had coffee this morning, but I'm still kind of tired today. To take the fan out in a second because there's this dumb cable that always goes under the fan on these. These are always kind of a pain to put back in the enclosure. because the battery, this cover on the battery is in the way. And then all the cables on these 1398s, they're a real pain. The 1398 is my least favorite machine to put in the enclosure. Just so many things keep them from going in. There we go. That board is in. You put the screws in. Actually, let me take care of the fan first. Just take the fan out. So there's this little cable here, right? So there's this little cable under here that always gets stuck under the board and the fan, and it's you almost always have to take the fan off to get this guy in here. It's a real pain. Hate that cable. Mic cable isn't, I think so, or it's either the mic or the headphone. No, it is the mic. Yeah, it's the mic cable. Keyboard backlight is also stuck under the board, and that's over here. Yeah, but these are a real pain. They're always a pain. I'd say the A1398 is one of the worst designed MacBooks out there. Just so the 2012 you have. Yeah, pretty much all of them have issues. Between the U8900 one is actually the best one because that one's least fixable. You have the 2013, starting in 2013, you have the boards that randomly crash, and then you have after they fix U8900, they switch to the new type of MOSFETs that will randomly die and it'll crash, or sometimes it'll just randomly crash with the MOSFETs being fine. And yeah, just all the 1398s are just real trash. This idiot just put the screw in the wrong hole. Yeah, even though it has U8900, the 2012 is the best. Because at least the U8900, if you know what you're doing a little bit, you can fix it. Or you'll end up rehotting GPU. Gotta go to the lab. Love college. I'll be sure to catch another stream sometime. Okay. Have a nice day, Wayne. Enjoy the rest of your day. This screw goes here. Yeah, but just rehot CPU on everything to solve the issues. This one, let's put the I/O board in now. Actually, we need a little short stubby one to go over here. And after this is fixed and stress testing, we'll move on to a MacBook Air that doesn't turn on. I was started yesterday and got distracted. But I should finish that one. Disassembly sucks. I hate doing disassembly. I need to hire someone for disassembly, hopefully soon. Just tuned in. Cool to catch you live for a second. Are you going to resolder the joints in U8900? I already did that. Like, you just missed it, like 10 minutes ago. Just reassembling now. The least favorite part of my... I'd say it's an equal... It's tied between my least favorite part of my job is either shipping or disassembling stuff. Chris, no. I will pay you $15 an hour to come disassemble stuff, so come move here. And you get $15 an hour. I did it again. I put the wrong screw in the... Yeah, Chris. $15 an hour and you could disassemble stuff here. You have to disassemble a minimum of 5 devices an hour to get paid. So if you don't do 5 devices an hour to disassemble stuff, then you don't get paid. That's the rule. Um, so are you willing to do what Rossman's not? You don't fire people? No, I'll fire someone. If you suck or you're stupid, then I'll fire you. Absolutely. And I forgot a screw right here. 15 an hour times 5 per machine. No, screw that. $12 an hour now. $12 an hour, Chris. No, no, not 12. $5 an hour. You get $5 an hour. And minimum of 10 devices per hour. And if you don't do 10 devices per hour, then you don't get paid anything. So that's the rule. 10 devices per hour at $5 an hour, or you get nothing. Caroline says, sweatshop prices. Is this becoming CSAT? Yes, this is becoming worse than CSAT. This is TCRS, which is worse than CSAT. We don't even give... CSAT gives at least one bathroom per 500 employees. There's no bathroom here. You don't have to use the bathroom. How about this? 10 devices an hour for 800 an hour. Yeah, I don't think so. That, if someone offered me that, I would take it. If someone offered me 10 devices an hour for 800,000, I mean $800 an hour, I'd be stupid not to take that. Will you have suicide nets? Yes. I mean, where are you gonna jump? The ground is like right there. So I mean, if you jump out the window, you're just gonna be outside. So suicide net would be kind of ineffective. Okay, and this Wi-Fi antenna is a little bit broken. Let me try and fix it. So this happens from time to time. Let me show under the scope. So sometimes these get a little bit messed up. They're coming for your rehot. No, they're not coming here probably. So these get a little messed up from time to time. Don't force it because you'll break it, but just try and move it back to how it should go, like that. And then the cable should go on perfectly fine. So see, watch. See, just like that, perfect. Fixed. Now let's see if the actual issue is fixed. So webcam's plugged in, let's tuck this cable under here. Put this last screw in. Yeah, the problem with shops around here is a lot of the shops rehot, I believe. So that's good. We have all of our screws. I think we have a couple missing, a couple not in. If it's B2B, then maybe force them to... No. Here's the thing. You would think a shop can successfully disassemble something? No. If you allow a repair shop to disassemble stuff, you're going to have broken connectors, ripped off components, just shorted out boards, and then if you let them reassemble after you're done, forget about it. No way. Screw that. No way. Yeah, you can't trust repair shops to do anything, let alone disassemble something and reassemble it. Know where every screw goes, know where all the cables go, not plug in cables backwards, because if anything goes wrong, who's going to get blamed? Them for reassembling it or you? You're the one that's going to get blamed. So yeah, no, and people are probably looking at me like I'm crazy outside talking to myself, but that's okay. That's how it goes. That's probably what everybody thinks here. It's this person just talks to themselves. It's pretty funny though. Where's the rest of the screws? Seem to be missing a screw. When I sent in this, I was just working no backlight. Now there's a hole in the board after I hit it with a hammer. What are you going to do about this exactly? That's the exact thing that always happens, and that's why there's no board only here. There's no, yeah, none of that. That's a recipe for disaster. You would think repair shops would be competent in taking stuff apart, but nope. Missing screw under the board. That always happens. And then you turn it on and the fan doesn't spin, and then you see a spark, and then you get no money for that board. You lose money on that board. Helicopters disassemble themselves. I know, I used to work on them. It's kind of like oil leaks on jet engines. If you've ever flown into Burbank Airport, you get off, you can get on off the back you want, and I mean you could get off on the back of the plane if you want, and there's always oil. You can see the oil puddles under every single engine because almost all of them leak, and that's kind of normal for them to leak. Believe it or not, aircraft have leak tolerances to how much can leak and still be allowed to be okay. That's pretty funny though. Because most people would panic at the thought of, oil leaking from jet engine on the plane you're on. But no, yeah, probably if you're on a plane, probably the engine is leaking, because that's pretty typical for oil to leak from some. It's kind of expected. Same with fuel. Fuel is the same thing. There's tolerances to how much can be leaking and still be fine. Like jet fuel, kerosene, diesel, none of that stuff is really that flammable. You can take a match to diesel, and you can take a match to diesel and put it in it, and it's not going to catch on fire. SR-71 fuel leaks on the ground. It's considered normal, yeah. A lot of stuff leaks like that. Here, so this is plugged in. LVDS is plugged in. Fan still spins. It's giving me dead battery alerts. That means it's working. Let me grab my charger and my test drive real quick, which is right here. We're going to boot into an OS and see if this thing works. We'll let the GPU and CPU get up to around 100 or so Celsius, and if it doesn't crash, we're probably set. See, TCRS test disk. Usually military aircraft leak at not only fuel, lubricants, and other fluids, but civilians, not that much. No, you'd think that, but yeah, go under the wing of a Southwest 737 at Burbank and look under the engine, and you'd be surprised. Or under the wing, it really depends. Okay, yeah, so this SSD, so something to be known about this SSD, if I'm ever testing something and it's beach balling like it is right now, this was run over by the chair and this SSD is failing, but I continue to use it. So that explains that. So it's probably going to beach ball and not boot. Because the SSD is screwed up and sometimes it takes a few tries to get it to work properly. Once this boots and starts stress testing, I'll move it over there, out of the way, let it test, and then get the other board. Goes under wing, engine gets sucked into the engine and turns into mincemeat. Well, the engine's not running when it's sitting there. Yeah, fluid leaks on aircraft is just common. When something is leaking, the solution is just to add more of whatever it's leaking. That's how you fix stuff. So this is booted into the OS. I'm going to start Unigine Valley, which is the GPU stress test. Password leaked. I don't care. Okay, the password on my test drive is repair reimagined. Capital R on both of on repair and reimagine. I don't care. You can have that password. It's the test drive right here. What are you going to do with the test drive? There's only Prime 95 in there. There's no personal information. Yeah, you can have it. You can have the password. If you break into my office to steal the test drive, I don't care. You don't want the test drive. Anti-aliasing 4 times. Quality will go high. See if this immediately crashes. And it's running, so I'm going to let this run for a while. I'm going to put the back cover back on. I'm going to set it aside and I'm going to work on the next board. We mostly sell laptops and do module level repair. Someone walked into the back of our store and stole one of our imaging drives. Yeah, like, that's one of the stupidest things to steal. Did you really rehot GPU? No, Chris. I resoldered you 8900. Yeah, why would someone steal a drive? I mean, that's just one of the, just people are dumb. That's the only explanation to it. Oh yeah, I'm gonna walk into the shop filled with computers. I'm gonna steal a hard drive. That costs $40. Makes a whole lot of sense. So here's the board we were working on last night. That doesn't turn on. PP bus was 1 volt. Here we go. So this board, let me turn this darn thing down. GPU temperature is 89 Celsius. It would have probably shut down by now. So this board had corroded ISL area. I'll come back to the ISL area. This has to go, so we're going to clean this area up because this looks like trash, and a board that looks like trash is not good. The fact they stole from a retail place pretty much eliminates the intelligence. Yeah, exactly. I just don't get the logic, you know? For one, if you break into some place, you're gonna steal a hard drive. Really? Really? A hard drive? Yeah, people are stupid. Sarah, someone was talking about up in chat that someone walked to the back of their store and took an imaging drive and stole it. And that's what I was talking about. Just the intelligence of people is just insane. That drive costs $40 at, Best Buy or any electronics store. It's like, so here, so if someone came in and said, "Can I have a hard drive?" I have like 100 in the back. It's like, here, take it. They work. I'm not even kidding. I probably have 100 drives in the back room that work. They just have bad sectors. If someone came in here and asked for a hard drive, I would have just gave them one. This Amtech that I'm using is the old one, and it still smells like pine. The new one doesn't smell like pine, and the new one just smells gross. And that smell of pine from the flux reminds me of when I was starting my business. It was nice when Amtech smelled like pine and not. The other day someone ran out with 2 computers in his hands and took off in a car. Yeah, that sucks. I mean, people are... If someone tried to steal from me, I honestly don't know what I would do. One, I would probably end up pepper spraying them, but I kind of have a feeling if someone came in here and tried to steal something, it probably wouldn't end too well for them because I would not let them steal. I mean, if you had a gun, probably here, take something, take an 11-inch Air, I don't care. Take one of the store MacBooks. But if you didn't have a gun, yeah, I'd probably hit them with a 2x4 or something. Thing here, it's like you're not gonna steal anything. You're just gonna get junk. That's it. If you try and steal from here, you're just gonna get junk. There's almost nothing that works here. Even the store computers don't work half the time. So yeah, there would be nothing here for someone to steal. The worst thing to steal would be the microscope and soldering related gear. Well, here's the thing. For that, you're going to have to take a minute to unplug it and stuff, and by the time that you're doing that, I'm probably already going to have something to hit you with. So yeah, that would be probably a bad idea. The microscope weighs like 70 pounds, so I don't see someone stealing that. I mean, if you broke in the night, that's another thing, but I don't think a thief is going to be stupid enough to steal that stuff. You know, if someone, they're not going to know what to do with it. Say force you to bring all this stuff with a gun. Yeah, that's not. I probably still wouldn't do it. I don't. Yeah, they would sell it, but I mean, I don't think that they would even know what it is. I'm gonna say, do you live in your store in the back room? No, I don't live here. I don't have a panic button either. You can't, in places like, you know, where I am in New York, you can't really depend upon the cops. If someone is breaking into your store, you're not, that's like 30 minutes. So we have some broken traces here, but this doesn't look too bad. Don't even think anything, well, you think about how long it takes for something to happen. For when someone is robbing you and trying to take your stuff, you have to take the time to call the police, which is, you know, 15 seconds before you get through, and by the time that, they're already gone, you know? So we have some broken vias here. These resistors don't look too bad. These caps don't look too bad. So those are probably going to stay. We're just going to clean it up. Usually when the ends are all messed up, I'll change these, but those don't really look too bad. It just looks corroded. Actually, no, those are fine. Those are honestly fine. So we have to scrape away and run some wires right here. This is no big deal. Let's touch up these resistors and stuff. This cap I will change. I don't like leaving caps on the board that are corroded. Hey, I'll work free for you. Why would you work for free? Do you want to pack boxes for free? You should do SEO for website. I did. Jacob, do you know board repair at all? Hey Tim, if you ever go to Lewis's store, will you kick Kevin for us? No, not Kevin's nice. I'm not gonna hurt Kevin. Maybe a Nell. I'll kick a Nell. How's that? For that one time that he said he didn't trust me, I'll get payback for that. Kick Hi Hi. That's even a better idea. Yeah, that's a much better idea. Jason doesn't work there anymore, Jacob. I'm working slow today. This mic going mute while not speaking setting confuses me. Is it that bad? Let me check. Filters. Okay, is that any better? Yeah, Jacob, if you're local, then you can come by. So it was popping earlier, so let me know if that's better like that. I still need to get this thing. I think that I'm going to bring back the audio interface because I don't think it's working right. So I'll just leave it like this for now. I'll just actually remove noise gate. Remove. Is it popping really bad now? I hear no pops. Okay. Earlier it was, but I'll leave it like this now. Let me grab a donor board. The other one is still running fine, so that's a good sign. Paul is here. How's it going, Paul? I haven't seen you around in a while. I tried doing that to my pads yesterday, managed to only get one wire on. You'll get it. It may take a few tries, like I said, but you'll get it. Just don't give up on it. It may take you, a few tries. Another thing that can affect it is your iron. Great today. My back for months was killing me and no pain today. I'm glad to hear that you have no pain today. The iron is alright. The tip is a bit wide, so I had to use a conical one. The tough part was getting the wire where I needed it. I destroyed the ground probe of my lane obstacle. That makes sense. Try and get a TS100 iron with the Hako tips. That'll be much better. So these resistors look okay to me. They don't look too corroded. I got a TS80 because I never got mine that Lewis sent. So the TS80 should be better. I don't trust the pads under these two resistors right here. I want to look at them. So I'm going to take off the resistors right here and look, because I have a feeling those pads are corroded underneath. I could be wrong. No, that's fine. What's a lane obstacle? Zero effect. A lane obstacle is you don't know what a lane obstacle is? Come on. You know what a lane obstacle is. How's the second store doing? This store is doing good, but the other one I didn't really, yeah, I closed the other one. I moved here and closed the other one as soon as I opened here. No, volt controller is ground, not a multimeter. Volt controller is ground. Resistor is lane obstacle, and volt controller is ground. No, wait, I just put as ground. Volt controller is... I don't know what a volt controller is. I just put as ground. lane obstacle is resistor, and volt controller can be the screwdriver. I don't know. What the heck is up with my iron? It's not getting hot enough. There we go. Don't trust this crystal. SMC area is not done yet because I forgot I had to run jumper wires, and jumper wires suck, but jumper wires have to be run to fix this board. We have to run wires from these lane obstacles. This would be really sad if I had to replace this SMC. The 1398 is still running fine. I don't know where that pin goes, so I'm going to come back to that. Zero effect. This flux is actually stuff that I had from like 2016 or 2017 when I was starting, and this flux is much better than the new stuff. Jumper wire. Someone just asked me how many MacBooks do I have to fix to become an admin on the support group. Well, good question because I have no idea. I think they were joking, at least I hope they were joking. Do you have to fix 10 an hour for $5? Do you have to fix 10 an hour for $5 an hour? Yes. Chris, you can come here and fix boards for $5 an hour. Minimum 10 an hour, or you don't get paid. And if you don't fix 10 an hour, you can't leave. You have to be here 24 hours a day. That's the rule. You don't get any breaks either. And you have to, exactly like Zero Effect said, you have to do it standing up too. You don't get a chair. No breaks. With his eyes closed. I like that idea. I got fired once for sitting while doing my job. Well, you'll probably get fired again here. You can fix 10 MacBooks an hour while sitting down, while standing up, for $5 an hour, then you'd get fired here too. This is worse than CSAT. This is TCRS. Hanging nets outside? Well, no, because there's nowhere to jump and kill yourself outside. It's right on the ground, so there would be no need for Foxconn nets here. Do I get diapers so I could work non-stop? Yes, there's no bathroom here, so yeah, but you pay for the diapers. Those aren't covered. Deal breaker, I'm gonna need you to buy those for me. No. How do you justify 10 MacBooks because your own output isn't even close? Well, I have boss privileges, so I can spend as long as I want on a MacBook. I have boss privileges here. I could spend 2 hours on a MacBook. Because I'm slow. Nicholas, please don't tell me you thought I was serious this whole time. Please don't tell me you thought I was serious. May need a new clock chip, but let's finish the ISL. What is my favorite ThinkPad? T520 probably. That's what I still use. I have a T440, I have a T430, but the 520 is the best. Is the audio popping or is it still good? Broken. Sort of broken. Broken, but I don't think that goes anywhere. Maybe it does, I don't know. So this board, this one has most of the stuff for the ISL on it. This donor board. So I guess I'm gonna start tinning stuff. I will never own a MacBook. Well, I have the only MacBook I have is for the store. Zero Effect, what are you doing? That doesn't work here. Zero Effect. Nightbot is dead here. There's no Nightbot here. What there is ads now. So now I can get money from this video if you watch it without an ad block. Thanks Zero Effect for making ads appear on my channel now. When does Super Chat come into effect? Do you have Super Chat now? Super Chat is finally enabled. That was a pain to get, honestly. It took a long time. Thank you, Zero Effect. I appreciate it. Was this your first? No, there's been others. I think I made like 20 bucks so far off of Super Chat and ads, which is pretty... That's interesting. Okay, so next I'll go ahead and do the chip. This donor board has the ISL already on it. But the ISL, yeah, we'll kind of trust it. We'll see how it works. I think you need to shill more. I don't feel like shilling right now. Nate's Tech Services is here. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it. Oh, 50 bucks. That's the most that anyone's ever donated yet. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna put stuff that comes in from YouTube I think towards channel upgrade. So I want to get another camera, another overhead camera. I was gonna get one today, but the camera that I was gonna get was out of stock locally. So alright, so we need to run a little jumper right there. I appreciate that, Paul. Finish this wire up. To find that transistor. I'm trying not to burn the trackpad cable while I'm replacing it. So that looks no good. That's gotta go. Here's our transistor. Or replacement transistor, I should say. I want to kind of get that without destroying the trackpad connector. There we go. That's off. Although I'm not going to be applying direct heat to the cable, I'm going to put a little flux in there because it'll still get hot enough to activate the flux and kind of clean all that up that's in there. Surface tension is an awesome thing. I 100% agree with that. I want to clean this area up because it's kind of nasty. Good enough. This has to go. This is no good. Let me take off the Wi-Fi thing real quick. This I'll throw in the ultrasonic too. But this cannot stay present on the board because this is nasty and this isn't going to work. As soon as this fan spins, I have to probably leave. And start packing stuff and getting stuff ready to ship today. What the heck is this silver stuff? No idea. Okay, will you turn on? Are you gonna quarter fan spin? Are you gonna real fan spin? What are you gonna do? Hopefully it'll turn on. Fan spin? Fan spin? Fan spin! Lewis is live, but nothing is streaming. That's okay. Probably most of my viewers will watch nothing. This clock chip got a little bit of liquid, but I think it's still okay. But you know what? I better replace it. Let me find a clock chip. I had a whole bunch of those, but I don't know what I did with them. And also, there's a couple more things I need to address. So for one, it's time to look at the board view. And so board view, flex BV. And there's this one little trace over here that I need to address. If Paul Daniel software ever opens for me. So near the ISL, this one little cap is going to go to the other side of the board, and that's just a decoupling cap. You know what? Okay, so me running that wire to this little decoupling cap, I'm pretty sure this is just a decoupling cap, so that's C70116. If I run a wire to that, that's going to introduce more noise in that line than the cap is going to take out. So C70116. You don't know it needs that charger. Yeah, that's not a decoupling cap. So I have to put that there. Yeah, it won't charge, or it'll charge intermittently with that cap missing. Everyone is saying hey. Why is everybody saying hey? What happened? What happened? So this wire there, now I can see chat better. So I have to run a wire from this cap to alright, so I need to replace these two first. Or at least one of these. So I don't like, if a cap is damaged like that, see how the corner is? I don't like to leave those on particularly because they could short over time. What the heck is going on in chat? I have no idea. No idea. Come on, come off the board. I'm gonna turn my heat up to get this off the board. There we go. Get off the board. There we go. Come on. Off. Bad capacitor. Grab a replacement cap from this board. Then I have to find a clock chip somewhere. The reason why I'm soldering this with the iron is because it's too close to the battery connector, and I don't want to melt the connector because then I'll have to replace it. And you guys saw how I solder connectors yesterday, so that's not going to be too good of an idea. Because I am no good at soldering connectors. So that's done. Now that wire I have to run, where do I have to run that again? To... Okay. So I have to run a wire from this capacitor. Where is it? Right here? And I have to run this wire over here. Somewhere where it's not going to run away. We'll conformal coat this so it's not going to touch. It's still not touching now, but just like that. And after ultrasonic, I'll coat everything up because now wouldn't be a good idea to coat it because, come on, break. It's dumb wire. This little cap ran away. There you go. Stay down there, little cap. That's soldered. Okay, I'll end the stream now, just in case, since Lewis is waiting. But yeah, so this is fixed. This is the last thing I'm going to fix on this. Just show you guys it still works. So if I plug it in, it fan spins, and it works. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next stream.